What if Deku had all for one? Part 2. Before I do get into this part, I would like to ask all of you guys if I could do anything to make the videos more enjoyable. Please comment them down in the comments section, so that could really help me to make my videos better for all of you guys. Now back to the what if. Now, I left off with Izuku getting away from Mr. Aizawa or Eraserhead. Izuku again does not like to steal heroes' quirks, so he did not steal a quirk that could be very beneficial for him. He also heard last episode that the villains, or just a bunch of thugs, are going to invade the USJ. He puts his mask on and starts running towards there. I did not read any of your comments last time because it was at 9 p.m. for me, and I wanted to go to sleep, so I'm sorry for not reading any of your comments, so I didn't get any names or costume things. Now, Izuku ends up getting to the USJ the next morning, only to see all of Class 1A there. He's confused by the fact that there is no villains needed to be stopped. His confusion sorry about that. His confusion is stopped when a massive purple portal opens up in the middle of the dome. This would be Kirogiri. Hundreds of villains run out of the portal as they start wreaking havoc as Shigaraki steps out. Aizawa jumps down and starts defeating them as Izuku shatters a light from the top of the dome and jumps down. Everybody in Class 1A looks up to see the now famed vigilante who supposedly kidnapped a hero's child, even though he went with him. Now Aizawa mistakes him for a villain and tries to attack him, only to remember the similar face that he saw when he found the vigilante, which for now I'm going to call Vader. Yeah, just going to be his temporary name for now. If you guys have any better names, comment them down below. But so he saw the very famous vigilante Vader, who's been putting many heroes out of work for stopping most of the crime, mostly at night, which causes Mr. Aizawa to have less of work, which, I mean, he's pretty much a fan of because it's more time for him to sleep. Now, Izuku ends up starting to defeat villains after jumping back and telling Aizawa he wasn't here to fight them. They end up defeating the villains until Aizawa charges right in on Shigaraki, saying that must be the final boss. Shigaraki tells Kirogiri to open up a portal. The Nomu steps out and smashes Aizawa away as Izuku looks at it as Shigaraki yells, "Ha! This Nomu has 3 quirks: Hyper Regeneration, Super Strength, and it was Blast's Absorption." As Izuku is in shock by how much quirks this Nomu has, until he gets an idea. He runs at the Nomu and puts his hand on its brain as the purple aura comes right back from his hands. Now this ends up sucking away the quirks from the Nomu, making the Nomu quirkless. It's just a really buff purple bird now. Now Shigaraki doesn't know what this means and says, "Nomu, kill that brat," as the Nomu punches Izuku, but it does practically nothing as Izuku uses the super strength from the Nomu and punches it out of the arena with ease, or the dome with ease. Shigaraki is obviously just confused by this. Why and how did this Nomu just get easily defeated? Hirogiri takes Shigaraki back, sensing the inevitable defeat, as Shigaraki goes to All for One and asks him about this. All for One thinks until a realization hit him. He thinks that this must have been his son. Shigaraki's shocked by this, as he's like, wait, you had a son? All for One nods as he says yes, and he's the only other one with my quirk. So, he's the one who took the Nomu's powers. He will definitely be a threat in the future, but right now, we can just walk around him. Now, Izuku is walking back from the USJ after defeating the Nomu and having to run away from All Might trying to arrest him as he got away. He kept walking until he felt something bump into him. He looked down to see a child there with white hair and a tiny horn atop her head. Izuku asks nicely what's wrong as she clutches to his knee or leg and says, Don't let me go back with him. Suki's confused until he sees Overhaul walk out from the alleyway and says, Eri, come now, don't bother this stranger. Izuku widens his eyes in shock as he sees Overhaul, the Yakuza leader. Izuku takes his mask out of nowhere, basically, and just puts it on. Now, you guys can imagine whatever this mask to be. Right now, I'm just seeing it as Darth Vader's mask. It can be whatever. I don't really care. Now, Overhaul is in shock that the famous Vader, which is his vigilante name, temporarily, came out and Yuri ran into him. He's been hearing that villains have lost their quirks, losing it to him, so Overhaul doesn't want to risk his chance at losing his, so he takes out a quirk destroying bullet and shoots it at him. Izuku catches it with a reflex quirk that he had, and looks at it and then smashes it, as Overhaul is in shock by this, as Izuku has his hands enveloped in a purple-like aura. He runs at Overhaul and sucks away his quirk, as Izuku uses Overhaul to kill him. As Yuri is shocked and scared by the amount of blood that's everywhere around her, Izuku walks up to her and says that she's safe now. They walk home as Izuku adopts Eri, making Koda and Eri brother and sister, as Inko is shocked that she has another grandchild. Now, back with UA, the teachers are discussing what they have to do with the vigilante Vader. Now, the vigilante Vader keeps on making their plans fall, as he keeps on basically taking money right from them by doing their job. So they're discussing what they're going to have to do. Now, one person inside this meeting is thinking about what he has to do that night. Inko, back at Izuku's house, decides she needs to tell Izuku something. She walks up to Izuku's room and knocks on the door and asks, Izuku, I need to tell you something. Izuku walks out and asks, what is it? As she says that she needs him to meet somebody, which she's been dating for some time now. After this, a ring on the doorbell happens as Inko rushes to the door and opens it, revealing Toshinori Yagi. Or Yagi Toshinori, I don't know, it's kind of confusing. Now, Izuku doesn't know that this is All Might. He only saw the buff All Might, which the picture in the last video showed a weak All Might because that was on the rooftop, but that never happened. He never grabbed onto his leg. Now, since he never grabbed onto his leg, this all never happened, so he doesn't know who this person is. Yagi ends up realizing that this was the kid with All for One. He's kind of saddened by this as he sees all the muscles on Izuku. He's kind of shocked by this as he sees that Izuku has been training. Now, after this, they end up having dinner as Toshinori Yagi ends up proposing to Inko as they are engaged now. Zuku's all kind of shocked by this, but he doesn't really care that much as it's not going to get in the way of his vigilante work. Now, while All Might, which I'm going to call him from now on, was walking around, he ends up running into Koda. This was the kid that was supposedly kidnapped, from one of the water heroes. He's shocked to see him, but doesn't say a word, as this is All Might's first warning sign. He asks Inko who he could be, as she says, oh, that's her adopted grandson, Kota. I think that's how you pronounce it, as he's shocked that they have supposedly a missing person as their adopted grandchild. This makes Yagi suspicious of Izuku, along with all the disappearing corpses of random villains. And that's where I'm going to leave it off, guys. Hope you guys did enjoy What If Deku Had All for One Part 2. And if any of you guys would like to play Animal Crossing with me, go ahead and go to the Discord link down below, and we can chat there, and I can give you a friend code for my Switch. See ya, guys. Bye.